Hi there, back with another EDC update. Been a while since I've done one of these, and for those of you who've been asking me to do another, I'm really sorry that it took this long. I went back and looked at my videos and I didn't realize it had been so long. I think it's actually been a few months since I've done just an everyday carry video, at least one that wasn't related to what I carry at work. So this is just getting back to what I carry on my person around town. I'll go ahead and zoom out and show you all the stuff I've been carrying. Now you'll actually see a few knives in the frame here, and I don't actually carry all three at one time. These are just three of the knives that I've been carrying a lot lately. So you'll just have to imagine I'm only carrying one of these three at any given time. Not a lot has changed. If you've kept up with my EDC videos, you know that it typically doesn't. I kind of try and narrow things down to what works for me, and then I stick with those same items until something comes along that's either new that I want to try, or something kind of bothers me and I decide to kind of retire it from my lineup and choose something else. So a lot of the core items have stayed pretty similar. Something that you haven't seen in an EDC video, but you've probably seen my review, is the big skinny compact wallet here. This is the bifold wallet, and I took my stuff out of it. You know, obviously I took my cards out, my ID, but I did kind of want to show it and let you kind of see how much wear that it's gotten. Some stuff kind of rubs off on the insides of the pockets a little bit. It's kind of picked up some of that little strip on the back of each card that you sign. That white material on there has kind of worn off onto the back of it. It does have a cash pocket and a pocket for receipts, and it's been holding up despite, I mean, you can see it's really floppy, and you can see it obviously has the shape of the cards that I carry in it. So it's starting to get a little bit of wear against the inside of the window and against these pockets. It's kind of taking on the shape of the corner of the cards, and the corners are a little bit smushed or frayed here and there. But I'd still say, for the materials used and for how long I've had it and how often I'm carrying it, I'm actually really happy with the way that it's wearing. And as long as it doesn't completely fall apart, a lot of these little wrinkles are to be expected, because again, it doesn't really have any sort of stiff backing. So your cards are really the only thing that gives the wallet its shape. So I'm not too upset about the fact that it's got some crinkles and wrinkles and creases. I'm really happy with the thinness of this wallet. You can see it only has a tiny bit of cash in it, and that's how thin it is. And I'm really happy with the weight. I like that it kind of curves and conforms. When I slip this into my pocket, it kind of takes on the shape of my pants and just whatever cards are inside. So it's not very obtrusive. You know, it doesn't really get in the way. I'm really happy with this wallet. I just hope that it holds up, and I will, of course, come back and let you know if it doesn't. My phone is the same. It's the iPhone 3GS. It's getting quite a bit long in the tooth as of late, and I do plan on replacing it. My wife and I are both planning on getting new phones. I think I've narrowed it down to just one model, which I'll reveal after I purchase it. But it's still holding up in the meantime. I did update it to the latest iOS version, which is iOS 6, and that actually slowed it down in several respects, and that's kind of what's really driving me to select a different type of phone. Is it's just kind of slowed down now. It's kind of dogging it in a few ways. So this will change soon, and you'll see a new EDC video when it does. Keys are the same as always: car key, house key. I have my Swisstech Utilikey always on my keys. This hasn't gotten a whole lot of use. In fact, lately I've only been really using it to open bottles, but it's one of those great little emergency tools that's handy to have on you. And of course, it only taking the space of a key and costing about $7 or $8, there's just no excuse not to have one on you. And I do carry this in addition to my Leatherman Squirt. And then my prybar, sorry, this is from EOD Robotics, that's it. EOD Robotics makes this. It was originally made for the US government. You can kind of see that on there, made in the USA. It is hardened D9 steel, and you can purchase this from CountyCom, a couple other places online. Some sellers on eBay occasionally have them. It's kind of developing a little bit of a patina. You can kind of see a little bit of corrosion, a little bit of discoloration, which I rather like. I think it looks pretty cool. Like, I've had it for a very long time. In fact, it's developed this over just the past few months. So once you have one, you carry it around, use it for a bit, it'll probably start to develop this same type of finish. Holds up fantastically. I've used this for some really aggressive prying lately. This gets used several times a week, so I'm always glad to have this on me. I use it at work a lot, and I even find a few tasks for it around the house at home. And it's great to have something like this that you can kind of use and abuse and not worry about breaking your knife tips, you know, not worry about damaging your screwdrivers. So if you don't have one of these, consider picking one up. I think they're about 10 bucks right now, and probably one of the best purchases I've made in a while. I carry my keys on a Lucky Line Flex-O-Loc keyring, which I've shown in several videos. So refer to one of those older ones or even my review if you'd like to see how it functions. I've got two size 0 plastic S-Biners from Nite Ize, and those are just connecting a size 3 S-Biner. This is black steel, or black finished steel, and that's how I carry my keys. This clips to my belt loop in my wallet pocket, and then, or above my wallet pocket, and then I hang my keys down into the same pocket. And this has just been my favorite way to carry my keys, and I'll probably never change my keychain. I'm just really happy with the way this is working. Flashlight, which I always carry on me now. I have one at work, I have one at home. I've shown you folks my work EDC, which is a Olight T10, and it's a single CR123 cell flashlight. This is a Foursevens, that's their new logo there. It's the Foursevens Quark Tactical QTLC. It is a single CR123 cell flashlight. Max lumens escapes me at the moment. I want to say 205. I'm probably getting that wrong off the top of my head. It's got two modes that you can program. I have one of them set to high, I believe, and then I also give a little twist of the bezel and it goes down into low mode. So when I don't need a bright blinding light, if I just want to check for something real quick, this light right here, that high setting, is very useful at a distance, but when you get up close to something, I mean, you can see right there the hot spot in the middle. Creates quite a bit of glare, so very bright, and it's not always the best for every situation. So it's nice to be able to quickly turn the bezel, switch into low, and have that mode save every time I turn the flashlight on or off, and then again tighten the bezel and I'm back into high every time. Super useful. I bought this for right around $50. Came from Amazon.com. I think they generally go for about $60, but I still think that it's worth every penny. It's a great light. It's held up beautifully. The finish after carrying it for months is still in really good condition with very little wear. There's a little bit at the back towards the tail cap here. You can kind of see there as I turn it in the light. You can see some of the finish has worn off, but along the barrel itself, almost no scratches to speak of. It's a good thick coating. That anodization or paint on the outside has been holding up really well. It's a nice thick column of metal too. Just the overall gauge, the thickness of it is really nice. The light's really well centered. There's a little bit of crud or dust on the outside of it. Probably need to wipe that off. It's got a very authoritative click. You know, it takes a decent push to get it clicked in all the way, but it's not too difficult. And I like that it does have a momentary on, so you can just kind of push in the button lightly and get the light to come on for a few seconds. Got just a little piece of paracord attached to it, so this kind of dangles out of my pocket, makes it easy to grab that out of there. That's my light. That's what I've been carrying. I did pick up another light, and I don't know if I've shown it on another video, and it is the Streamlight Micro Stream. Just a simple little light. This one's a single LED. Doesn't get very bright. I believe this one is 20 some odd lumens. It might be like 27 lumens. Again, sorry I don't have the numbers right in front of me. I don't remember. But I bought this one to try out. I gave one as a gift to a friend and for his birthday, along with some other items, and I really liked it. I got one for myself. Very simple. It's real small. Let me kind of show you in size. It's a little bit longer than that Quark, but because it is just a single AAA cell light, it's quite a bit narrower. So this is easy to slip into a pocket. It does come with this neat little clip, which is removable, and it's a two-way clip. You can actually clip it onto your pocket like so, or you can use this little piece right here, clip it onto a hat, slip it onto the brim of your ball cap, and you can use that when you're working on a car or a project when you need it to be hands-free. So that's a pretty slick little addition that they've got going on there, and I think this will run you, I forget, 15 bucks, somewhere around there. Very inexpensive, well built. I carry this with me to work as a backup. I've only carried it, on my person a few times. That's why I don't have it in the main frame here. But a really great light that comes highly recommended. Maybe I'll do a review on this pretty soon. So that's something that's a little bit new. I just got a watch. This is just a cheap watch. Came from a yard sale. It's actually nice. It's kind of like a Swatch style watch. It's made by Guess, and it's actually an early to mid 90s model, so it's a little bit old. But I don't have any expensive timepieces. I like watches, but I can't buy the good stuff because I end up blowing all my money on other things, other hobbies. This is probably, despite how often I use my knife, and I do like my knives, my Leatherman Squirt, there's a cat hair on there, let's get that out of there. My Leatherman Squirt P4 is probably my most used EDC item. I mean, if you don't count, you know, my phone or my wallet or something like that. I use this every day, pretty much every day, several times a day for all sorts of stuff. Never, not always necessarily what it was intended for, because the little screwdrivers on here are great for all sorts of different stuff. I use the pliers like a pair of tweezers often. Great, the tips are really precise, and they come to a really good little point, or not, I won't want to say point, but the two ends grab and meet very precisely, so I can use them for removing splinters, and I do that often. I get splinters at work a lot in my hands, and so those are handy. But I use the screwdrivers. I use them when I'm carving wood. Sometimes I'll use the little awl that's on here, and I'll use that to kind of bore into some wood a little bit while I'm carving to make it a little bit easier to get the tip of my knife blade in there. The file I've used for smoothing down wood, all sorts of stuff. Rarely do I use the knife blade. I have, but just not that often. Just a tremendous tool. This is probably one of my favorite EDC items of all time, and I'll never be without one. It's a little bit small, so if you're used to carrying a full-size multi-tool, this might set you back as far as functionality. This might be a bit of a downgrade. But for me, I just like having, you know, the drivers and the pliers on me at all times, and I just can't, you know, I can't overstate just how often I use this. It's a tremendous tool and a great value. Running about 25 bucks nowadays. There's a newer model, the PS4, which is a little bit different, but it has the same basic overall functions. So if you don't have one, do yourself a favor and go out and get one. I think that's pretty much everything except for the knives. And so of course you see the Kershaw Cryo here, which I don't carry as often as these other two, but it does get carried when I want something a little bit smaller and a little bit slimmer. This is the one that I'll bring along with me. Beautiful knife, great grind on it, good weight, good size. Some people think it's too heavy. I don't think it's too heavy at all. I think it clips to your pocket well. It's very discreet, really elegant sort of industrial design, but also kind of understated, which I rather like. And it's dark if you want a darker knife without having to go all black. It's a nice alternative to all the black knives that are out there. Of course, my cold Steel American Lawman, which I just did a review on recently. And in that review, I kind of gushed about this knife because I just love it. I'm such a huge fan of this knife. It's got a good weight, good thickness to it, not too thick, not too thin. Plenty of knife to grab onto, easily held in several different positions, and just an amazing EDC knife. It might be a little bit bulky for some people, I suppose you could say. It's not too long, but it's a handful compared to some other knives. I mean, you know, if I put it side by side here with the Cryo, you can kind of see that it's quite a bit bigger, but it's worth it. You get a lot of knife for that extra size. Very useful. Comes with 2 pocket clips, tip up only, but you can clip it on either side. I just love it. This is another one that, you know, I'll always have an American Lawman on my person, or at least in my collection, and ready to use on any given day. I'll probably even buy a spare of these in case Cold Steel decides to retire it from the lineup. It's just that good. Run you about 50, 60, maybe even 70 bucks, but worth every penny. And then this was a Christmas gift from my wife last year, Christmas of 2011. My wife got me a Spyderco Para-Military 2. This is the standard satin finish S30V blade with the black G10. No extra bells and whistles, no fancy colors or blade steels or anything, at least not by today's standards. This blade gets used a lot, gets carried a lot. I've carried this often in the last year, and I absolutely love it. It's just an amazing design, a rock solid lockup, beautiful blade design, full flat grind, super pointy tip. You always got to be a little bit careful with those Spyderco tips compared to some other brands of knives, but penetrates easily, slices beautifully, super comfortable in my hand in every position. And another one that's just an absolute winner. Just they completely knocked it out of the park with this design. Love the oversized opening hole, the compression lock. It's just overall a fantastic knife. And on that note, a lot of you know that I also purchased that same knife in orange. So this is the CTS XHP steel version. This was a Cutlery Shop exclusive, and also the same design, you know, same weight, same blade shape, handle shape, everything, just a different color and a little bit more of a premium steel. And I love this model just as much. It doesn't get carried quite as often, I think, simply because it was a little bit more expensive, and because it's exclusive I kind of baby it a little bit. But it has gotten carried a few times in this month of October as we come up towards Halloween, and it's got kind of a pumpkin orange thing going on. I'll probably carry this one or my quote-unquote zombie killer knife from K-Bar for Halloween, just for fun. Maybe I'll make a video on my Halloween EDC. But this one does get carried a little bit. Some of these knives I'm bringing in from off-frame. I'm just keeping them out of my main shot here because they're not getting carried nearly as often. The SOG Trident, which is a assisted opener, and opens very fast. Love the shape of this blade. Can't say enough good things about this knife. I think this is probably one of SOG's best knives. Wish they hadn't gone for the silly little cable or cord cutter cut out there in the handle. I think that was a bit of a waste and doesn't really need to be on there. I don't find it all that useful, but other than that, I love pretty much almost all of the design. Great weight, really, really light. Like I said, excellent blade shape, cuts super well, slices great. It's got a really high grind on it. Very discreet clip for those of you who like the knife to clip very low in your pocket, so it hides the handle pretty much completely. You'll like this design. Very inexpensive. I think if you go online, maybe on eBay, they'll probably run you about 45, 50 bucks. So that's another good choice in that price range. And then lastly, the Spyderco Endura. This is the full flat ground Endura 4 in blue. That stuff you see on the blade is a little bit of fuzz that's sticking to the oil. I recently oiled all of my blades. I had been neglecting to do so for a while and just recently did, so that's why you'll see a little bit of fuzziness, some flecks of crud on there. It's actually clean. Beautiful design, super light. You know, this is a classic Spyderco design, and it's with good reason. It's the weight, the size. The steel VG10 is one of my favorites. Pocket clip is 4-way positionable. It's a beautiful, comfortable pocket clip with that great hourglass shape. Easy to get in and out of pretty much any pocket, front or back. I don't know why they went for that kind of black contrasting sort of finish to it. I might kind of scratch that off of there someday and make it just kind of match the blade, but you know, I guess they thought it looked a little bit more discreet, a little less reflective that way. But another beautiful knife. This one again isn't getting carried quite as often as these three, but it is coming into the mix every now and then. So the knives that I've shown you so far, including these three here, are the ones I've been carrying the most often since my last EDC update. So that's pretty much it. You know, I carry different pairs of sunglasses, bandanas, you know, scarves, beanies, hats, all sorts of stuff, and I won't include all that in this particular go-round of my EDC. I just thought I'd show you my core items. But everything that you see here comes highly recommended, and if you were to select any of these tools for your everyday carry, I don't think that you'll at all be disappointed. Again, coming back with a new phone pretty soon, so look out for that video. And everything else is probably going to stay the same for a while. I do have some new knives coming, so hang in there for those if you want to see a few new models, a couple surprises. And as we come into the holidays, I think I might have to treat myself to, as we knife enthusiasts like to do, I might have to treat myself to a couple new models on my own as my own Christmas presents, just because I can't wait or force my, you know, my want for new knives onto other people, especially because some of them are kind of expensive. So that's it. That's all my new or my latest EDC stuff. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. It went on way too long as usual. Some of you like that, some of you don't. Sorry to those of you who don't. Stay tuned for some more reviews, and maybe I'll come back with another EDC video a little bit sooner next time. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye.